All right, let me find my marker. Ducks out my toes.
Crown Vic frame.
All right, 1 second, we'll go. As soon as I tighten this bit up enough. So that's. Oh, you sucker. Oh, you sucker. Hey everybody, welcome back to Atomic Hillbilly Garage. Today we're back in the shop. We're actually working on the D100 frame, the Crown Vic swap, believe it or not. It's been a while. So I got a buddy here, he's in from Arkansas, and he actually did this swap on a 69 Ford, 68 Ford F100, which of course was easier than what we're doing here, but he's at least got some familiarity with it and has actually taught me a couple of things on the Crown Vic already. So what we've done, let me flip around here real quick. So we've made our mark. Our center line for our brake was the center line for the axle. So we've actually measured from the front of the frame rail back, and we actually used a level on the tape to make sure that we were level. Came back, and I came up with 31 and an 1/8 on this. Well, I may be off on 29 and an 1/8. So yeah, I may be off on this a little bit. But anyways, regardless, came back, made 2 marks, and then we actually took string and stretched it around both marks, across both frame rails, and then I made my marks on the bottom side of the frame rail. Now what we're going to do here to make life a little easier on us, we're going to grab the forklift over here, come over, get this frame lifted up and flip it over and make sure that we're doing everything a little truer on our marks before we move forward. But anyway, so that's where we're at. Stand by, we're going to get this thing flipped over.
We may have to.
Does that go in the tote?
Yeah, we throw it away.
I'll put this right back. Ciao.
If I take it apart, I know where it goes. It goes up to here.
Oh, okay.
So once we get these off, we can put these back on there.
That's too big of a socket there. Yeah. Oh, this one. Is there another one? Is that it?
That's it.
Okay. I filmed up here one day by myself. Come to find out, I've been showing my butt crack all day long, so I had to superimpose some images over my crack so I could show the video online.
Yeah.
I cracked myself up, but get it?
pose a problem.
Yeah, just a tad.
Damn.
Not even bench pressing.
Just about. That close.
We're gonna have to pull this back this way.
So now we're mega close, actually. At least to figuring this portion out. Well, I think our next step is to get our center line holes drilled.
Yep.
Because then we can get this sat down flat.
Sat
Then
down
we can
flat.
mark our crush tubes.
Well, then you can put your, see them crush tubes, they got it with these right here. Where it's moving.
Yeah, that's got the
That side.
adjustment. These are fixed.
Yeah,
Yep.
so let's move this back.
Gonna sit there, all right? Hold time.
Measure,
Measure.
punch, start drilling.
Yep. I can't stop thinking. All right, hold on. Here, Coy, let's sit this flat. Let's flip it face up. Right like
You didn't
that.
trust yourself?
No. Not cross car like that, definitely. So, again, we're 31.5, center to center. So that's what we got to worry about the mostest. So let's do an external to external. And we're right at 34.5. So we got 3 inches, so we got 1.5 inches we can come in. Right? 34.5, almost spot on. Hold that tape right there, would you? Hold that tape there.
But don't forget, this inside is gonna be 3/16.
Yeah.
So
But I'm
you-
saying we got 34.5 to the outside.
Right,
We got 31.5. So all we got to do is subtract 3 and go 1.5 inches from the outside to the center.
okay,
You agree with that? Don't make me question myself now.
no,
Because yeah, if I come back in 1.5 inches right at 33 here, should give me my mark. I don't know what I'm going to do with mine.
that's the way it was on mine, when I done mine.
Yeah, so again, I'd be at 33. And the only thing that makes me worry is our edge distance that we're going to have left after we drill our hole this size. You know, we're going to have minimal edge distance here. But again, all that's doing is locating. So
Okay.
it's not that crucial as the crush tubes are going to be.
Yeah.
And we're like spot on at 34.5. I mean, dead on at 34.5 there, so. So now, if we do this just right, 1.5 inches is our magic mark.
You don't have a,
So just making a center punch mark here is the goal. What I did here is I marked each side of the string. We had the string through here, so I'm pretty much trying to hit the center of the string and the center of my 1.5 inch mark. She's punched. Well, well, well. If it ain't Mr. Jabberjaws himself, hold on. That bitch go.
Listen, I think this would
Did you not see the no trespassing sign out?
this would be the good video thing to put that on his feet with him working on a.
Yeah, he almost just
Metal
dropped something on his toe already.
That ain't even smart, dude. I thought you were smart.
Those are his hiking shoes too.
Oh my
This
goodness.
is what I ski in these.
Terrible. Yeah, some fall on your foot and you won't be skiing from.
Oh,
Nice.
Thing is screaming.
You like that noise, Mel? You like that noise? You don't want to poke through that last bit of sheet metal.
She's telling you one.
I guarantee it does. Thought you stepped that up a bit.
It was a.
That's barely going to make a difference. I'll try it, but it's barely going to make a difference. You got to be manly when you step up a bit.
Well, see, you should have seen if the bit will fit in there.
It barely does.
You're not burning.
That was a step in the right direction. .725, so it's right at 3/4. You get it. Let her rip, potato chip.
Let her rip.
All right, I gotta put my boots on, hot shavings on my feet. One more. Am I right or am I wrong?
Measure.
One more. Well, let's measure just for fun.
Almost.
But now, see, the problem with that is we've got down in there that's not bored out.
Oh, it's tapered.
Well, you still got a little bit more to go, though.
Yeah. We're about 2/3 of the way through the frame. Let's see. So this is going to be the side that the frame sits against. Well, we can just do that. Let's try it. I think we're close.
Yep.
I think we can call that good. Don't wipe the sweat off your face with this shavings. Okay, so what I did on this, we just started with the smallest drill bit, whatever size we started with, got the hole through it, worked our way up, pretty much a drill bit at a time because somebody was giving me the next size ups. But anyways, and then we went to Harbor Freight, bought this step bit, and that worked fantastic. Actually, highly impressed with that, and caught them on sale for 10 bucks for the pair. So that was an excellent deal and very sharp bit. So now I'm happy with that edge distance there. So it's still got a lot of meat left between the hole and the edge of the frame. This would almost pass inspection. Look at that.
Perfect.
Perfecto. Man, that's sweet. That is sweet.
Same thing on this side.
Yep.
You got it.
That's why I said we'll get our 31.5 nailed down from here, and then I'll just double check my dimensions there, and then we can pop the crush tube holes, I think, right? So that would be, to me, this would be good progress today. If we can get all these holes drilled. Now, unfortunately, the crush tube's got to be top and bottom.
Get the tubes out of that,
Yep.
which I can always take the tubes out while you're drilling this side.
Sure. Yeah. I'm good with that.
If the racket don't bother you.
Don't bother me. I'm married.
Wow.
Okay, so hold that tightly.
Okay. With your
2
thumb.
hands. Yep, because I want this piece flat on the
It's
outside of the
flat
frame.
On the outside of the frame.
Flame.
Yes.
All right. So let me think now. We are 31 and a half, right? Was our magic number? Yes. So 31 and a half. So we got an inch.
Center.
Well, you want to do that or directly from the outside? But yeah, center's fine. So you're centered right now?
I'm centered.
You're perfectly centered?
I'm centered.
Just don't forget, you're dealing with
Double check.
engineer here. What I want to do is double check my fore aft on this one. So let's see, I don't like that. See, I don't like this. See, that looks different from my string line. So I need to make sure that we're spot on here. See how far that's off? Because I'm using this. Well, if I do this through my center lines.
Right.
See, that's centered there. Okay, so I was too far forward. That looks better, but still confusing.
It's the ones that are most towards the back.
Yes.
So you're
Well, I'm just looking at the center of it. So that is closer. Where'd our plumb bob string go? Oh, I bet it's right there. Gotta wait for that thing to stop bobbing. I mean, I don't think the little bit that I'm looking at being off is going to matter. Really? Because if I pretty much just look right there, that kind of gets us where we're going. I think right there. Let me just double check. Let's double check our 31 and a half again real quick. We good?
Good.
We're good. All right.
Just
Yep, that's what I was going for. Man, you're a mind reader. You're psychic or psycho. I don't know. One or the other. Which one?
cycle.
Okay. I concur. A little too far. I like it. Okay. You may now return to your original destination. And I will change,
Start with 1/8. Go up.
I'll change drill bits 142 times. But I must admit, the end results on this one are impressive. All right. Trial fit.
I think we still got to drill out a little more over there.
Yeah, a little more.
Okay. Might even have to hit this one again over here. Actually, but I'm ground. See if yours will just push down on it.
It's down. These right here are down.
Okay, yeah. You are? Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. That's it. Cross member is just how she belongs.
It'll go down.
It'll go down more?
Yeah, it went down. No, it went down.
It went down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Once you get your bolt in there, it'll pull this frame together.
So really what I'm thinking at this point in time, if we get these crush tubes in place, well, even if we just got these top holes for now, get those in place and bolt this temporarily, then do this welding, then we know this isn't shifting at all while we weld everything up. I'm not saying we're going to do that, but that might be a good next step thing. So yeah, pretty cool. That worked out easier than I really anticipated. So now I can mark these, mark those. And so what's your thoughts there? So we've got adjustment on them.
You got adjustment. That's why I'd go to the center.
To the center of it.
To the center of it.
Yeah. But I mean, when these are locked in, nothing matters.
Locked in, you do the center, it's going to lock this one in too when you put the tubes in it and bolt it.
Yep. And the head of those tubes is this side.
That side.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So I think once we go to weld the crush tubes in here, we should have the bolt run through it, right, to control its location, right?
But what you can't do is go ahead and drill these and these
Yeah.
and put a bolt across from one another to hold this.
Mm-hmm.
So when you flip it to do the top part,
Yeah. Well, see, that's the only thing I got to figure out then is how do I transfer these holes all the way through to the top side and have it perpendicular.
Direct.
True to the world.
drill that hole.
If only I had a
And
drill
this
bit that
frame-
was
this
4 miles
frame's the
long.
same on this side as it is on this side.
And then just do our
Measure-
measuring.
Then you measure.
Yeah. I mean, I know we could do the measurement part, but it'd be ideal if we could do, but you know, if I had a
Yeah.
drill bit that was 4 miles long.
If you had a long bit,
Yeah,
you can go all the way through.
yeah, right,
As long as you keep your drill level.
yeah. Yep. 10-4. All right, pretty cool.
Long bits.
Eyeballs.
So what is it you're doing now?
Measuring just a couple of reference points. So essentially from the front of this K member to the front of the frame rail right there is just 21 7/16. And then I want to compare over here to there. Man, we are good. That's a beauty.
Sam's happy.
That's a beauty. All right, Coy, let's flip her. Okay, so everything lined up beautiful, and just wanted to point out here that this hole, if you look at the edge distance to the frame rail here compared to this front hole, it's offset. And at first I thought maybe we were skewed, but then I realized that the Crown Vic actually is offset like that. So it has a wider span in the front on the holes than it does in the rear. And same thing over here. If you look at the slots, compare this slot to the edge of the frame rail here versus the slot to the edge of the frame rail here. So both of those are stepped outward in the front for whatever reason. But again, we're going to try to hit the dead center of the slots on this side and obviously dead center of both holes over here on my side. But this is actually going smoother than I thought, so really looking forward to getting excited about all this. All right, so we're back the next morning, and basically what I've got done, I've got all the holes drilled. We test fit the cross member. It fits in there. The bolt holes all line up, so that's all good. And cleaned up inside the frame rail on the inside a little bit in preparations for getting ready to add the tubes. But we got to flip it over and drill the top holes on the top side of the frame. Then we'll be welding the tubes in and get as close to bolting that sucker in. All right, we got the frame flipped over and got our marks made. And again, this span between the front and the rear is 10 inches spot on. And from the outside frame rail to my mark here is 1 inch, and this is on the forward one. And the rearward one is 1.5 inches. Again, from the outside of the frame rail to that mark, and that matches exactly what I did on the bottom. And I'm measuring from the outside frame rail because there is a slight deviation in the width of the frame from the top to the bottom. So I didn't want to measure from this edge just because there was a mild deviation. So I'm measuring here because this is consistent, and again, left and right. So fixing to drop these or punch these holes, and these are going to be the ones that are going to be large enough actually for the tubes. Where's our tubes? Where are those confounded tubes? So these holes actually have to be large enough for this entire tube to slip through here. So the lower holes only had to be large enough for the actual bolts themselves to go through, which I don't have one handy, but just the bolts that go through these. So the lower hole is a smaller diameter, and I forget what was the lower diameter? 3/4?
3/4.
So those are 3/4, whereas this is 1.5 inches. So this hole up here needs to be 1.5 inches. And I think what we're going to run into, especially on this one, is we might run out of edge distance here a little bit. We might actually eat up or have just a sliver left of the frame here by the time we're done making a hole large enough for these things to slip through. So again, they slip through. We weld this surface area here to the frame. We're probably going to tack something on the bottom side and maybe tack the bottom down where this actually will rest, because this winds up coming in and rests on the frame there. So just wanted to give you an update real quick before we start punching holes. Yeah, it's really, I think now it's starting to fight this radius so that it's getting even thicker cut.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's struggling.
Yeah, on that
Especially on
wall.
that outer edge.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just starting to dig into more real estate, and this ain't the strongest drill in the world either, so.
Now, the other one may be a lot easier to cut.
This, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I suspect. Hope it is. This drill's getting pretty stinking hot. Too hot to hold. Definitely got it. All right, guys, we do have success on the driver's side. We've got both of these cut out and all the way through both sides. So now I will say that our drill wound up getting dull. Well, I won't say it got dull, but the top 3 teeth didn't want to cut as much as everything else did. Once we reached that point, it just didn't want to make that next step. So my buddy used the little die grinder and kind of opened up that hole a little bit. So as he would open the hole, then I'd go back in with the step bit and drill it out some more. So that thing definitely took some time, and I actually just put my wife on a mission to go buy another set of them and see if maybe the next one's sharper. So anyways, just going to repeat the process on the other side, and I'll update you once we get that done. So just for reference, I mean, I don't think but a couple of tacks are necessary on these bottoms. So just whatever you want to do. I mean, if you want to tack, that's good. Up here's where we need to be a little more aggressive.
You want to fill
It probably don't have, well, we should try to fill in this gap at least.
Okay.
So, you know, on this side there's a hole that we've penetrated into, so we ain't much we can do there. So just whatever you think. You know, he don't think it takes which honestly Ford didn't have it welded in there a ton because all the work is being compressed, you know.
We just want to make sure it
But
don't move.
Yeah, the only
when we
thing is,
unloosen it.
right, when I take it apart, because we had to torque it to get these in there, I don't want those shifting on me. Everybody take a look at that, will you? We have the Crown Victoria cross member bolted in place. Now let me tell you, it was a bit of work. So really, at first it went smoother than I thought it would. Our biggest enemy was this particular step drill bit. This thing worked like crazy till we got to about, I don't know, 7/8 or an inch. And then it just didn't want to cut no more. So I actually sent my wife on a mission, bought another set, and the second one was definitely sharper than the first one. However, I think the larger the diameter got, the slower the tool was cutting, right? Which kind of makes sense. And we even stepped up to a larger drill, and it still worked that drill quite a bit. So that was a bit of a chore, is getting those holes done, right? That was the biggest battle, really. Everything else went kind of smooth. So I did tell you that I would document any of my mistakes or issues that I ran into along the way. And so what we did, and this is kind of recapping everything that's in the video, we created our holes for our locating pins first, left and right. Made sure that this fit, and it worked out just perfect, right? That step drill worked perfect for these and fit perfectly. So once we did that, I marked the holes for the other for the crush tubes, if you will, on both sides, drilled those out, everything lined up perfectly. So that was fantastic. Then when it came time to do the top side, I had to overthink everything, and I decided, I was worried about these being perfectly vertical and everything being perfect. That's my background. That's my my daily job background, right? I'm into engineering, and I got to overthink everything all the time. It's my biggest enemy. So what we wound up doing, we did that, drilled out the holes, put the cross member in, put these upper arms on, and when we put on the driver's side, they didn't want to line up. They were hitting the bolt by about 1/3. Passenger side, flipped right on there, no problem. So what we wound up having to do over here, we got the step drill out, we went to the largest diameter we could, and which was only the next size over what we actually needed to get the crush tubes in there. So it wasn't a lot, but it gave us just enough that we could tip those crush tubes back slightly, and that allowed us to clear this arm. So if you look, and I guess maybe you can see, maybe over here a little better, these bolts both favor the front side of these arms. On the passenger side, however, they favor the backside. So, you know, I think that's really just the position of the tube, nothing crazy radical, because I did take some measurements from the front of the cross member to the front of the frame rail, and they were like spot on from left to right. So I think the only thing we have different from side to side here is just these crush tubes, the location of the holes, and that's it. If I had to do this over again, I would get the bottom the way that I did, bolt it in with some short bolts so that it was permanently fixed or temporarily secure, come back and put these arms on, flip them over, and make my marks for my holes on both sides. And I think that would have kept me better in alignment, because again, what do we care if these things are slightly tipped? I don't think it matters anything in the world. This is doing all the work, right? This is doing all the work. So once you bolt these things down, this thing ain't going nowhere. So that's it. That's the only mistake that we made, but it didn't stop us from moving forward. We got lucky. My buddy that owns the shop here, he was up here yesterday doing some work, and he wound up welding these in place for us. So that got us a little further than we actually expected. My buddy had to head back to Arkansas. I can't thank him enough for his help. Couldn't have got it done to this point, definitely, without him here, his knowledge, and helping to push me a little bit to stay motivated on it. So this is where we're going to stop off for now. I was really hoping to wrap this thing up in this video. Unfortunately, there's just a lot, guys. There's a lot more involved to this. You know, and I want to keep my videos a little bit shorter. So we're going to come back one more time, hopefully, and get the lower control arms in, which is going to take care of these rascals, right? And my buddy educated me on these. I thought these kind of worked like a Mopar torsion bar, where actually he said, no, you just loosen up this nut or this bolt out here and they pivot however you want. And so he flattened his on his Ford. He made them flat to the bottom of the frame rail. And again, on his Ford, it was easier. So again, he educated me there. That was something I didn't know. You know, I just hadn't got that far to even realize that they just flopped around once you loosen them up. So anyways, guys, hey, I hope you enjoy this. I did. I had a great time actually doing this. I'm really excited about the movement we got done. So stay tuned. Like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that notification button, do all that stuff for me to help my channel continue to grow. Appreciate everybody that's done so far. See you real soon.